Today we're gonna build corners for our fence. We're using woven wire, which has to be stretched, so you have to make solid corners. Right here we have 3 posts, or we have 2 on the ground, and we're gonna set the 3rd one right now. You have to put them about 8 feet apart off the corner. That's a corner post. These are brace posts on either side. We're not making a 90 here, we're making more like a 120-degree angle to run up to the barn. So what we had is somebody with a skid steer drilled out our holes for us ahead of time, because it just saves a lot of time. And now I'm going to clean out the bottom with the post hole digger, and then we'll set this post. We're going to dig down about 3 feet so that we have a little over 4 feet exposed, because our woven wire is 4 foot, and then we're going to run a strand of barbed wire on the top, and so we'll go maybe 52 inches of post sticking out of the ground. Right here you can see it's real mucky. It's April now and we had some rains, and so make sure you clean out all the muck. It's probably better to do this in summer or fall when things are nice and firm. So when we put our post in, we're going to fill it around with some crushed rocks, screenings that pack real hard. Dig the diameter of your hole about twice the size of the post, so you have room to pack the soil or gravel around it. Okay, we're gonna check, and looks like we're right at about 3 feet. So I'm going to double check the measurement of my post. We got an 8-footer here, so that should be plenty. We can trim off the top later. These are old telephone posts that we cut up that are nice and solid yet. Gonna make sure the bottom of your hole is packed nice and tight so the post doesn't settle down. And you want to get it pretty much level and plumb so that it looks pleasant. It's not as critical for strength, but it's better if they're at least close. I'm gonna eyeball it now. I also want to sight down my fence line to my other corner and make sure that things are lining up left to right. Otherwise there'll be a bow in the fence. Now we're going to fill in our hole with some screenings, which are crushed rock. Some places you could use chert or any sort of crushed rock that has the fine real fine grains in it, so it packs nice. And then you take a stick or something with a flat bottom and tamp as you fill to compact everything, and that holds it in place real good, gives it strength. Alright, we're about up to the top of the hole here. We tamped it all the way, filled it with screenings. Now we can do the last 4 or 5 inches with dirt, just so grass will grow. Put some of the dirt back in that came out. And the post is set. We will do our cross bracing and top bracing shortly.
Ram's horns are stuck together.
Oh my.
What are they gonna do?
Oh no, now they'll have to go everywhere together.
Oh, they got free!
Now we're going to put the bracing on these corner posts. What we're going to do is put a beam right here across, and then an angled wire that's wrapped and looped around and twisted tight is going to go at a diagonal across, and it's going to draw this corner together so it can't move like that. So first thing, we're going to mark how tall we want the post, and we're going to cut the top off just so they look nice. I'm going to cut them at 52 inches just because that's going to work out nice for us. And then I'm going to put some other lines on here for an area that I want to make flat with the chainsaw. So I'm going to cut in, and then shave out the in-between part here so that the horizontal post is going to fit snug in there. And I'll show you how to mark those so that you get a nice flat surface that's perpendicular to the other post. We're going to use a combination square, or you could use a carpenter square. And I'm going to put it, I got my two lines here, I'll put it in between them. And I'm going to put this tight against the post, and then I'm going to kind of sight down the edge of the ruler here and line it up with the same edge on the corner post. Now that I did that, I can look, and this has got a ruler on it, so I'm going to go an inch back on the post, holding it on the center here. So I drew a line an inch back, and then I'm going to connect everything. So I'm basically making a square on the post, and you do it on both sides. I'll do it on the back now. So we went an inch back, then I can take the chainsaw, cut in top and bottom, and then plunge cut like this straight in and take out the middle. And here's our line for cutting off the post. And I'll mark this one, and then we can cut them. Okay, we're going to cut our notches and our tops off here. We're also going to do a back cut on the top. Just below our notched area, I'm going to make just a little cut right here on the back, kind of angled down for the wire to sit in, maybe only 1/2 inch deep. And then over here, we're going to make a little notch in the bottom, maybe up about 4 inches. Same thing, 1/2 inch deep, kind of uphill, so that that band can sit right in there. Kind of do that carefully so you don't go too deep. And now you can eyeball through your cut to see how to line up your saw. Back cut. Also be careful when you do a plunge cut with that saw, because of course if you touch the tip to the post, it's going to want to kick up at you. So you have to really hold it carefully and just ease in real nice. Now we're going to measure the distance in between and cut our horizontal post to that size. 90 1/4. These cross pieces we're using, it's called a landscape timber, just because they were cheap and I didn't have any more posts. Cedar posts work good, you know, thinner 4-inch ones, maybe 6-inch ones for the corners, 6 or 8-inch. You can see there's a little bit of a notch there. It's kind of difficult to get these perfect sometimes. It's maybe a 1/4 inch open there. This side looks nice and snug. What I might do is just run the saw blade right in between there and clean it out, and then it'll sit tight. Then we're going to take some galvanized 3 or 3.5 inch nails and just secure it in place. Toenailing them. One on each side should do. Then the next step is to take our wire, which is pretty thick, heavy wire. I think they call it a number 9 wire. It's, I don't know, probably close to an 1/8 inch thick. Steel, it's galvanized, real heavy duty. We'll take it and wrap it around. Now that we got the wire here, I got to cut it off, but I'm going to cut it so that you know, they're overlapping maybe a foot, maybe a little bit more. Now I'm take it and get it nice and snug and twist these around on each other like that, and then I'm going to make sure that we're in our notches. Slide it down just a little, and then go ahead and wrap this a number of times, maybe five times or so, just so it's really secure. There's a lot of tension on it. Then you have a stick about like this. We use cedar. Oak works good. Anything that's weather resistant, rot resistant, because it's going to stay out here with the setup. This is what you twist the wire with, and it's going to stay on the fence, so you can tighten it later on if you need to, a couple years down the road or something. So we're going to line it up so that when it's done, it's going to stick up just a little bit above the top here, because this is going to hold it. So you want to make sure you twist the right way too, because you want it to end up being tight on the inside like that. It's going to stop. So we want to go the opposite way.